Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk About Singing. My name is Marco. I'm a singer, songwriter, voice teacher from Italy living in New York City. We're here today with another reaction and vocal analysis. Olivia Rodrigo just released a new song called The Cure, and I cannot wait to listen. There's a new album coming. She's working with Daniel Negro again, so I really look forward to listen to this. Funny to think that I discovered Olivia Rodrigo while doing a reaction for this channel many years ago when Driver's License came out, listening to it for the first time. If you haven't checked that video, I assure you it's worth watching because my reaction is pretty intense. All right, let's go. This is The Cure. Whoa.
All the pretty girls in the foreground of my mind. I thought I'd done enough, but they keep moving the line. I thought I'd found the antidote this time. I thought I found the antidote this time.
Nice. This is definitely something that I was not expecting. The song starts with just an acoustic guitar. The sound is very raw, and the chord progression is kind of like 90s grungy alternative indie rock. That chord progression actually reminds me of Everlong by Foo Fighters, do you know? And it's very interesting how they decided to choose specific chords to make that melody more tense. And what do I mean with that? If you take the melody by itself, na 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 na, it doesn't sound like such a dramatic melody, right? But on top of those specific chords, which include some very particular notes chosen on purpose to create that tension, that melody sounds completely different. Now, the chords here are B flat and C, but what kind of B flat and what kind of C? If it was just a normal B flat minor, all the pretty girls in the foreground of my mind, to a C sharp major, you see how normal this song sounds? Thought I've done enough, but they keep moving the line. But what are the actual chords? It's B flat sus 2. Oh. So now listen how this melody sounds when you add this note. All the pretty girls on the foreground of my mind. And where do we go here? To C sharp major 7. So that same note stays there, keeping that tension going. So listen. All the pretty girls in the foreground of my mind. I thought I've done enough, but they keep moving the line. B flat sus 2, C sharp major 7. These are definitely not pop chords, but they belong more to the alternative rock, grunge realm. That's why I'm very surprised by this first verse.
All the nights I spent fighting bad thoughts in my room. Feeling so alone, might as well be on the moon. I thought I found the antidote with you. I thought I found the antidote with you.
Her vocals are so soft and so breathy, but there is an interesting element that I don't know if you guys noticed. The vocals are doubled right away from the very first verse. What do I mean that they are doubled? Well, you can clearly hear two vocal tracks, one on top of the other. Now, doubling vocals is very common in pop music, but usually it's done in a way where one of the two tracks is lower than the other, and sometimes you can barely hear it, but it kind of reinforces the lead. In this case, the two takes are almost at the same level when it comes to the volume, and it definitely contributes in making her performance sound a little more ethereal, a little more mysterious, but also a little more intimate. It sounds like she's talking and whispering in your ears. What do producers and engineers do when it comes to doubling vocals? They don't just copy and paste the same vocal take. That would result in just a louder take. It would lack richness of sound, it would lack dynamics, it would sound artificial. The trick is to sing the same take twice and in slightly different ways. Those differences in tonalities, in rhythm, in pitch, they contribute in making the performance more real. It creates a richer, thicker sound and definitely a more natural sound to the point that people barely notice. Even when it's evident, like in this case, I assure you that the majority of people do not understand that these are two vocal takes, one on top of the other, and they think it's just one vocal take. But if it was just one vocal take, the song would sound completely different. So try to pay attention how one of these vocal takes is a little breathier and one is maybe a little more like mixy head. See if you can distinguish the two takes and if you can understand what are the elements of both.
My head is full of poison and my heart is full of doubt. I got toxins in my bloodstream. You tried hard to suck them up, and it feels like medication, and it's good for me, I'm sure, but it don't matter how your love feels anymore. It will never be cured.
Do you notice all those extra pauses and all those extra breaths that she adds? This chorus is very staccato. She chops some parts and it kind of helps in emphasizing the discomfort that she's expressing through the lyrics. If she was singing everything attached, it wouldn't sound the same. If she was doing everything legato, and my head is full of poison and my heart is full of doubt, it would be too melodic, it would be too pretty. But pay attention.
My head is full of poison and my heart is full of doubt.
You see?
I'm sure, but it don't matter how.
But it don't. There's no need to take two breaths there, but the extra breaths really contribute in communicating this, sense of discomfort, this negative feelings that she's trying to express. Overall, her delivery is very raw. There's no vibrato, no embellishments. Nothing here sounds pretty or smooth or clean, and of course it goes with the lyrics. She is singing accordingly to the message behind the lyrics, and this type of singing, again, very unpolished and very raw, it's definitely another element coming from 90s rock, grunge, and alternative.
I used to play a game in my head when I dated a guy. Tally up the girls that he fucked till I start to cry. I thought I found the antidote this time.
It's interesting how at the end of this chorus there was almost like a sign that new elements were coming in, musically speaking, new instruments, but everything just went back to that stripped down verse. Again, doubled vocals, raw acoustic guitar, soft, breathy delivery. Very, very interesting. I'm curious to see where this is going.
I thought I found the antidote this time, but I'm unraveled. I'm unraveled. I'm unraveled. I'm unraveled. I'm unraveled. I'm unraveled.
Oh! Well, here comes a new section out of nowhere. Should we consider it a pre-chorus? There was no pre-chorus in the first part of the song, but now all of a sudden we have this I'm unravel section with this call and response. What is a call and response? In this case is a phrase repeated with a slightly different melody that functions almost as an echo. But what is interesting about this call and response, it's how they panned the vocals. What do I mean with panned? Panning is how engineers and producers distribute the vocals when it comes to left and right. So you have a first, I'm unravel, and then you have the answer, I'm unravel, that is actually coming mostly from the right side. You should listen with headphones and you'll hear it even more. And then you have a third I'm unravel with harmonies and another response, I'm unravel, coming mostly on the left this time. So it's almost as if this echo was moving from right to left. Then you have another I'm unraveled and then another response mostly on the right, and then another I'm unraveled with harmonies, and then a final I'm unraveled, a little more shouty. Put some headphones on and let's listen again. Lead, response on the right. Harmonies, response on the left. Lead, response on the right. Lead with harmonies, shouty. This really creates a great build up for the chorus. The way they panned these vocals gives this floaty effect, but it also once again enhanced the message of the lyrics. She's saying I'm unraveled, and to have the voice moving like that, it communicates even more this idea of breaking down and falling apart. I love this section. So in this second chorus, we have new musical elements. We have what sounds like pads and strings, and her vocal delivery, it's a little more dramatic, a little more intense. Still, the song didn't really open up, but so far I'm enjoying the way it's progressing slowly. It's taking its time. Before we continue, I want to remind you that if you want to book a free voice class coaching session, consultation online with me, all the links to contact me are in the description of this video. But all you have to do is send me an email at letstalkaboutsinging84@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram and send me a DM at perfectmark.music or at Let's Talk About Singing. Reach out, slide in my DMs, and let's work together. Oh! Oh! Yes. Great. Now the I'm unraveled part, it's a bridge or a post-chorus, so they repeated that section right away after the chorus. Such an interesting choice when it comes to the structure of the song, kind of unusual. And now in this case, it's definitely used as a build-up, creating this crescendo effect thanks to the strings that are anticipating the drum beat. They're going dun 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 dun. That was so tense, and it gives you this sense of building up towards something. And then the I'm unraveled part gets repeated, and on top of that we have more vocals. It's almost like a chant, right? Why can't you just stitch me up? And this creates even more tension. It gives even more a sense of a build-up. And the vocals saying I'm unraveled, they get shoutier, and they also have a little bit of a distortion effect. So everything is meant to take you towards that drum beat kicking in and really having the song finally opening up. It's like a boom. It's just like, it just hits you right in the face. That was such a great, great section. Production-wise, vocal production and arrangement, I loved it. Wow. Wow. Really cool. In this last chorus, it's interesting how, despite everything got bigger and more powerful, her vocals, yes, they are slightly more intense, but they didn't really rely on her going stronger and belting out. Instead, they opted for more vocal layers to give her a fuller sound. So, more harmonies, more vocal layers, and even the I'm unraveled part comes back. If you listen closely, you hear it in the background. It's almost like this echo going around, right? It's as if this phrase is what ties the song together, is the ultimate message of the song, that she's unraveled, that she's really like breaking down and falling apart. Again, it adds up to the lead and the harmonies and the different takes and the drums and the strings. Everything together creates this very, very like epic finale. But then what happens? She finishes the song repeating "It'll never be the cure," almost whispering, "It'll never be the cure," like that. And we finish with strings only. The beautiful string arrangement at the end, which contrasts so much with how the song started, right? With that raw, grungy guitar chords. All of a sudden, it's beautiful strings and kind of like dramatic and sophisticated. She really took us on a journey with this song, with so many elements adding up section by section. I was really not expecting that from her. And definitely another unusual element is the length. The song is almost 5 minutes. In this day and age, pop songs, sometimes they last barely 2 minutes or just a little over 2 minutes. So another unusual choice for her. I really think this was one of the most interesting things I've heard in a long time. And Olivia gave us some elements of rock and indie rock in her previous albums, but this is definitely a step forward, composition wise, interpretation wise. She sounds so mature, and the production, the arrangement, I think definitely is something that takes her to the next level. So I definitely cannot wait for the album. We are off to a good start. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you like this song, if you were surprised by her choices. If I forget to point out anything, let me know in the comment section and let's talk about it. I'll see you soon with another reaction and vocal analysis. If you liked this video, please give me a thumb up and subscribe. This is Marco. Let's talk about singing. Ciao.